Then we have Lightspeed in all his glory, 70, 11 maxed out with his G1. So talk about his ability. It says dash into combat, gaining 100% health. So bit similar to Pipes in that sense of gaining health when you sort of use your ability. And gain immunity to all crowd control effects for 4 seconds. And then swiftly retreat, blinding all targets you dash through for 12 seconds. The final target you engage before retreating takes 4,500 damage. Now, the big question around this bot was, should it pop Outpost? Now, me personally, I don't think it should have. I would rather it have done enough damage to kill a build bot. I feel like the big problem with Lightspeed popping Outposts is that once you pop the Outpost and Lightspeed then retracts back to where he was, he would generally, you imagine if you've done a walk, he would generally be around your other bots maybe. And I know this might be a bit of a bad example, but it's an example regardless. So let's talk about Elite 1 maybe. So if you were to pop Elite 1 with Rook, she would hit the hollow and she would be far away. It wouldn't touch your bot and the ability is wasted. But if you were to use Lightspeed for this to pop the Outpost and come back, Elite 1 is then going to be using ability around your team and actually hit your team. So as an Outpost popper, I don't think it's effective. I don't see the use in it. And if you were to be more realistic with it and talk about Twin Twist or Lightspeed would pop him out the Outpost, then he'd come and attack Lightspeed anyway, and you'd probably have to use a bot again, or Lightspeed again, or Pipes to counter the ability. And I sort of hit Dale up about this and said, listen, I'm not too sure about this. And Dale said, listen, it's pretty good in an Outpost. And I was like, right, okay. I can imagine if he hits a bot within your cluster of bots and blinds them all, then I imagine that would be pretty decent. Obviously getting the actual health and all that, but let's be honest, you're not going to let your team just walk up to an Outpost and let Lightspeed sort of hit your team. You're going to probably use Rook. And then Lightspeed is going to hit Rook's hollow. Blind is hollow. So what? It's hollow. And the ability can be wasted anyway. So I don't think it's going to be that effective either as an Outpost bot either. So I'm not sold on this popping Outpost thing. That's the biggest thing for me. But he does have some positive things about him. And I think the big one is his G1. Now, talk about his G1. So it's at 0% health. You go back in time to the location health you had 9.5 seconds ago. 2 uses per battle. So 2 vectors. Two vectors. What that also means is that if you want vector within your team, you can use vector as well. So you kind of got a double vector for Lightspeed, and you can have vector as well. So it adds to loads of survivability. So I honestly think, and I'm going to make a wild, outlandish claim here, I actually think that this is one of the most powerful G1s in the game. One of the best G1s in the game. 2 vectors. So instead of getting, let's be honest, instead of 40,000 health, you're kind of getting 120,000 health. That's not including the 100% health he gets from using his ability. So I think that Lightspeed's G1 is like a must-have for this bot. I don't mind that. It's not like they gave him some simple things and gone, oh right, but we've got to do more damage to get his G1. I kind of don't like them G1s because I'm like, why don't you just give the bot more damage and put something else as the G1? The G1 should give it something that bit extra, that bit unique, that attracts you to the bot. The bot should be able to work without that. The bot should be able to do what job it is designed for without the G1 and without Ability 11. Ability 11 emphasizes it and G1 gives it something else, in my opinion. And the Ability 11, giving it the immunity to crowd control, it's not a deal breaker for most players. It'll still blind and pop outposts and do damage, so that's fine. But, you know, it does help. And the G1, I think is essential. But you don't have to use that to put a prime core on him. It'll still work. You can still put a normal vector on him. It'll still work alright. But So certain parts of the bot I'm really sold on. But we'll take him into battle, we'll give him a go, and then we'll talk a bit more after that. So it's a bit of a bug at the minute on Test Your Base, where you need to have more a bot on the field at all times or it ends. So we're going to drop another bot as well. So we'll probably drop Nose Cone for variability. Then we'll drop Lightspeed. So from what I heard in test, the problem is that if you rush past an outpost, it doesn't pop it. But if you rush next to an outpost, it will. And I know Freezer said in this sort of stream, oh, something a bit different, I don't mind. And I get that. But it can be frustrating as well if you want to use an ability and it doesn't quite get it right. For me, I want to use ability to do A, and it does A, and not have a chance at not doing A. That's a big concern for me. You know, if I wanted to pop an outpost, I wanted to pop an outpost regardless. So let's give it a go. So I tell you what we'll do first. We'll go to here first. See if it pops the outpost. So it goes through. Alright, let's pop the outpost and let's see if we go next to it. We can see there, because we've gone next to the outpost. Oh, it has! It has. I hope that's a last minute change. I did say that I talked to Dale beforehand and there'd be some last minute changes. And Dale was really struggling. And he sort of talked about, oh, well, maybe we just let this bot do that, where it will go through the outposts and pop them, but not next to it, or vice versa. I didn't like that. If this is intentional, where it pops outposts regardless, that's better. But you can see already now that we pop the outposts and straight away the bots are coming to where my team are and attacking them bots. They're not doing it from range. That's kind of what I don't like from Lightspeed. But the good thing about Lightspeed in this sense is that it does blind targets. So you can blind an MDS. Now for me, that's a huge deal. Blinding an MDS is amazing. Great mechanic. But the problem is 12 seconds. You know, and I said to Dale, and I said, like, the problem with that is that you blind it for 12 seconds, but in 12 seconds you've got to deal with it again. And you might have to use Lightspeed again. So that's 3 ability points to blind it once. 5 to blind it twice for 24 seconds. You're using 8 ability points. So I ask, why would you put Lightspeed in your team and use Lightspeed's ability twice, say, to blind an MDS for 24 seconds to maybe give you enough time to, you know, get close to it and kill it, when you could actually just use Roadbuster for 6 and it's gone. You know, and I said to Dale, I said, you know, what does Lightspeed do well? You know, I said, when you think of some of the best bots in the game, when you think of Optimus, what's he there for? Doing damage. Does he do that well? Yes, that's why he's a top bot. Pipes, what's he there for? Popping outposts, protect your team. Anything else? Not really. Does he do that well? Yes, amazing. Rook, what's he there for? To pop outposts. Does he do that well? Yes. Does he do anything else? Yes, there's a tank and I suppose it protects your team and all that. You could say a gunner shoots and all this. But he's there to pop outposts. Does he do anything else? Not really. Does he do that well? Yes. Minerva, what's Minerva there for? To heal. Does she do anything else? Not really. Does she do that well? Yes. Trax, another great bot. Probably the best 4-star bot in the game. So what does he do? He protects your team for 21 seconds. Does he do that well? Yes. Does he do anything else? Not really. And this is what we find with the best bots in the game. They're not complicated. They've not got loads of different compartments. I know Rook's got like a bit of healing and this and protection and shielding, but he's there to pop an outpost and he does that great. You know, but when you look at Lightspeed, I sort of start to think, dash in with health, does he protect your team? Not really as good as Pipes, who's already leveled, we've already got him, he's already amazing in everyone's team. Is he going to replace Pipes at being a front tank in any way and protecting your team? No, he's not. Blinding a target, so let's say blinding an MDS. Are we going to put him in my team instead of Roadbuster, who will kill the MDS? No, not really. Is he going to do much in terms of blinding targets for 12 seconds? It's not really long enough. We've got other bots to do it a lot longer. So he's not going to be there for that. 4,500 damage. Is he going to kill anything? Not really, not even a build bot. Is he going to place any other bot that kills build bots or kills defenses? No. And that's kind of the sort of situation that he's there, but there's nothing he excels in. He's got a lot of little compartments, but there's nothing where you look, he's in my team for that. This is kind of like, you know what I liken this? I would liken this to, if you've got your own mansion and you want a joiner and you want a painter and decorator and you want a flooring specialist and you go, right, I need someone into this job. You wouldn't have some guy that rocks up and goes, I do a bit of everything. Well, no, I need a guy that specialises in that and a guy that specialises in that. I don't want a jack of all trades that's willing to do a bit of everything, probably knacker it up a bit and not do a great job of anything, really. So, you know, if you want the best sort of bots, you want the bots that do a job very, very well. That's the way I come from anyway. And so that's a bit of a concern. But I might have found a bit of a niche for him, going back to my other stream in a week or two. So, remember back a couple of weeks ago, I used a sort of team, and I said I was trying to build like a sort of fire acid team, and I've already got gold fire and ultimate optimus, and I've got slug, I've got pipes and skids. I'm not sure slingshot was in there, but you get the idea. It's all around fire and acid, with Leo Prime being a big part of that. And I said the big problem with that attack method was that you would use gold fire to do the initial damage and pop the outpost and do loads of fire damage. Then you would use other bits of fire and acid and then finish it off with ruination, sort of clearing it. I remember correctly, like last few weeks, it was really amazing. And I said the problem with gold fire is that he gets hacked, so you need obviously vector on him. And at the time, I had I think it was Buzz Strike to stop him getting hacked. Is it Buzz Strike? I think, yeah. And I said the big problem though is mines. The big problem is that he's going to get stuck on a mine, and even with Vector, he's going to get killed quite quickly. Outside of that, I was really excited, and I was trying to think of a different alternative, and I was actually talking to Grindtime about this, and Grindtime said, well, why don't you use pipes? I was like, yeah, but the idea is to have this sort of fire acid thing, and yeah, he hasn't got that. You know, Blur, bots, other bots like that, like, they don't have that. I wanted fire and acid, and there's no other bot that will leave sort of fire acid Kremzix in the area. But I feel like for 3 ability points, Lightspeed might solve that. He's a decent tank as well, front line. Why not? So what we can do is, if you watch now, this sort of gain immunity to crowd control means that he can pop a mine and not be affected by it. And I wasn't sure by this. And I sort of hit Dale up and I said, like, Dale, is this correct? Have I got this right? That he will pop a mine and not be affected by it. Now, Dale said, if you use his ability. If he just walks into a mine, whatever, then yeah, it will affect him, because like on any other bot, it will hit him. But you can use his ability to pop mines. So we'll hit him here. Let's try again. Try and pop these mines that are over here. Don't let me down now, Dale. There's the mine there. He's actually affected by it. But Dale assures me that he shouldn't. But the good news about that is that once you do that, you can use gold fire. But let's try it again. Let's put ruination on. Let's go for it properly. Gonna go no healer. Don't need it. I'm gonna try without. There goes the neighborhood. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drop gold fire here. I'm gonna drop Lightspeed here. So I'm gonna do Lightspeed. Now don't forget, like I said, this will probably be fixed, I hope, because Dale says that it will. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use gold fire. I think he's gonna get hacked over here because he don't have his combat arm, but you get the idea. And then I can drop these bots. And then I can use Ultimate Optimus over there. I can use that over there. I can use that over there. And let's put him over there. It's all manic. And you can see there, look at all that fire and acid. We've popped the mines and the outposts. We'll normally have the obviously combined outposts up there, but we can pop, but and you can see there that most of the base is already gone. Then we can use some abilities. It's going to struggle a bit without a healer, but hey. But you get the idea. And so I started thinking about sack. You know, we have Goldfire that struggles doing sack because normally people put, you know, mines around the launch pad and sort of like separating the top and second section. So could we use Lightspeed as a way to pop them mines first using free ability points and then have Goldfire having sort of free range and bring sack back into the meta again? You know, sack fell away with the increase of mines, and I was all for that. I was like, yeah, because sack it got a bit silly, if I'm honest with you. You know, it was negating all the outposts. But I think now with the likes of, you know, Beachcomb and Deluge, who the ability's alright, but it's more about survivability, about reflecting back and being a massive tank that you can't take down. It's not about wasting ability, it's about being an outpost bot and sort of being like, you know, come and try and beat me. I'm just going to try and beat this battle, actually. But I'm not even bothered with it, but let's try. And, you know, and I feel like sack has maybe a way of coming back into the meta again. You telling me, is this something... Are you an old sack player? Could you see this coming back? Could you see using Lightspeed to pop them mines, using Goldfire? Do you know? I mean, let's be honest, you could say, oh, why not use Blur? I know you got Flare Mines and that as well being combined. But it's another option. It leaves something else option. We talk about combos, and we have kind of comboed them too there. We're using Lightspeed and using points to negate something to use Goldfire. Maybe it brings Goldfire back into the meta again. Who knows? Listen, I want to try it. That's all I know. I think it can be useful in certain situations, and I'm willing to give it a go and see how it goes. So, listen, in the meantime, if you've got a 4-star Lightspeed and you want to use it in Wozza, go and give it a try and let me know if it works for you. Is it effective enough? Do you see a comeback for Goldfire maybe? Let me know in the comments. Let me know, and yeah, let's see. Interesting.